No, sir.
So we were here last day. We have done the second group verbs. Today we'll start the third group verbs. Okay. Third group verbs. We have different subgroups in the third group. So we need to remember those. Okay. So third group verbs. Here you can see this the first subgroup, attendre, which means to wait for. Who is this? Akshat Kumar Mishra. Akshat Kumar Mishra. What happened, Akshat? Are you interested or you want to
Sorry,
leave?
sir. No,
Please,
sir, I'm interested, but sir,
if you're not interested, you can leave. Okay. So, attendre, to wait for. Remove RA from attend. Now, if you remove the last two letters, so the leftover, what is left over, those becomes the root of the verb. So you can see we have the root a, t, a, and they, and then we add the endings in this way. So you need to remember this subgroup in the third group. Okay. J'attends, we are adding s here. Tu attends, we are adding s. We'll not add in a third person singular form. Il attend, elle attend. Nous attendons, ons, we are adding. Vous attendez, ez, we are adding. Ils attendent, ent, we are adding. Elles attendent, ent. So similar, the same group, you can see what are the verbs given here. Vendre, répondre, descendre, rendre, entendre. So these verbs falls under this subgroup. So these are the verbs attendre, vendre, répondre, descendre, rendre, and entendre. This attendre and this is entendre, to hear. So this falls under this subgroup. Okay. So, but don't, prompt is different. Prompt will be, it also ends with DRE, prompt, but it's another subgroup. We are going to do that. So, can you all do one verb from here? You can do it, you can do vendre, to sell. Vendre, to sell. Can this is conjugation in your notebook right now? So what have we said? So you have to remove the last two letters, R, A, to be removed. And what is left? What is the root of the verb vendre? What is the root of the verb vendre? Dep Sahani. What is the root of the verb vendre? What is the root of the verb vendre? Come on.
Dev, can you hear, sir? Dev, can you hear, sir?
No,
Yes,
no, girls will not respond now. You just listen. The weak ones, I'll be asking.
Okay.
Tell. Here, attendre, this is the root. We are removing RE, and then the leftover thing is the root, becomes a root. So for this one, the verb vendre, what will be the root, Dave?
Can you explain once again?
This is the verb attendre. We removing RE, whatever is left behind, it becomes the root of the verb attendre. Okay. So a, t, a, and they. And then we add the endings in this way. With third person singular, we don't add anything. Here we add ons, here is at, here ant, here ant. I am asking this verb vendre. So what is the root of this verb?
Sir, vend.
Spell.
V-A-N-D.
Yes, ve and they, it's the root. So now how do you conjugate? We conjugate zo, ve and they, and then we add s. Okay. Tu, then ve and they, s. We add it. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then what will be adding? Il, ve and they. Here no addition. Al, ve and they. No additions here. Next, with nu, what will be adding with the root?
The O-N-S.
Yes, O and S. Next, with who? What will be
The
adding?
as, EZ. The EZ.
Huh? What will be adding?
The EZ.
AZ, yeah. So this way we'll be going to do the verb for the rest of the verbs. Vendre, vendre, what will be doing? Vendre, répondre. Okay. What will be doing? Vendre, répondre, descendre, and what else? Rendre and entendre. Did you understand? Did you get me? Okay. Okay. So we are going to the next one now. Let's see the next one. So here the next subgroup. The next subgroup is prawns. The next subgroup is prawns. Prawns. The next subgroup is prawns. So for here, what we are doing? Tell me. Here you can see the verb prawn. We are removing the, just a minute. So the verb prawns now, what are we doing here in this one? We are removing RE, but we are left with PREND, P-F-A-N-D. And then we add the endings, right? But in this one, did you notice after the first persons of a second person and third person, all the singulars, no problem. But with the plural forms, we can see that D is not there. D is removed. D has been removed from the plural forms. And then we are adding ONS, is that. But also you can notice that in the third person plural form, we are adding another N, isn't it? So this verb will follow this pattern. So the verbs from this subgroup are apprendre. So you can see apprendre. Just appe, if you add to prong, it becomes apprendre, which means to learn. And if you add com to the verb prendre, it becomes comprendre, to understand. So what will be the verb? Can you do this verb apprendre right now in a notebook? Apprendre. Dev, Akshat Kumar Mishra, Anugya, you need to send right now in the WhatsApp group. Garv, Jayesh, Akshara Bansal, Akshita Singh. The names I am taking, you need to send right now. Swapnil Roy Chaudhary, you have to send this verb right now.
Can you repeat?
Sir, can we also send?
Yeah, you all don't send. The ones I did not take the name, please don't send. We know that you all know. The rest, those who don't know, for them I am asking. Dev Sane, are you writing? In the previous one, we have seen the verb attendre that we have seen, that we are adding SS, then ONS, EZ, ENT. But in this subgroup, prawns, We are removing RE. We are left with PREND. P-R-A-N-D. And then we are adding the endings like as, that's we have done it before. The verb before we have shown you attendre, the same things we are adding. But there is also removal. There's removal of D from the plural forms. You can see there's removal of D from the plural forms. First, second, third person plural forms. D is removed, and also we have added another N in the third person plural form. Did you notice? So the same way you need to do the conjugation for the verb apprendre. For the verb apprendre. So what will be the root of this verb?
APPREND.
The root will be A-P-P-R-A-N-D. Okay. So what will be adding now? Do the thing and yes, Rajani.
Sir, Jo, then A double J apostrophe A double P R A
No, you
N
just
D.
write and send in the group.
Okay, sir.
Quick, hurry up. You started the third group verbs because you will require the verbs to learn. So it starts with a vowel. So we'll be writing Zapron. A-double-P-R-A-N-D, and then we add S. Zapron. Tu apprends. Zapron, then tu apprends. A-double-P-R-A-N-D-S. Next is il apprend. A-double-P-R-A-N-D. Il apprend. Then elle apprend. A-double-P-R-A-N-D. But when we are writing with no, we can see that D is missing. A-double-P-R-A-N, then D is not there. And then we are placing O-N-S. Nous apprenons. Next is vous apprenez. A-double-P-R-A-N-E-Z. Apprenez. D is missing. Yeah. So, and next is ils apprennent. A-double-P-R-A-N, and then we are adding one more N, and then A-N-T. Ils apprennent. And then elles apprennent. A-double-P-R-A-N-N-A-N-T. Elles apprennent. Got it? Yeah? We? Okay. So, clearing it. So we are going to enter the next subgroup. So far we have learned two subgroups in the third group. So the third subgroup now. The third subgroup, only one verb is there. You can see the verb is dire, which means to say or to tell. So this one, we don't have any rules. Only you need to remember the verb properly with this conjugation. Je dis, tu dis, il dit, elle dit, nous disons, vous dites, not dites, it's dites, vous dites, ils disent, elles disent. Je dis, tu dis, il dit, elle dit, nous disons, vous dites, ils disent, elles disent. Is the verb di. So this is the third one, third subgroup. The next subgroup you can see, you may say that D-E-R-A. You can see the verb. What is written? D-I-R-E. Next one, L-I-R-E. So why doesn't it belong to the same group? There is some difference. What's the difference? Please note. Here you are writing vous dites, D-E-T-A-S. But when you are doing with lead verb, here the same thing you can see, lise we are writing, lise. We are not like lit, L-I-T-E-S. We are not writing like D-I-T-E-S we have written here, but we are not writing L-I-S-E-Z. Only the difference between D and L. Here it starts with D, this verb, and here the verb starts with L. Just note, see, I just write beside that. But I'm going to write beside that so that you can understand. You can see the verb dir. If I write here, dir, see, Zoli, here writing L-E-S, and here we are adding, in place of L, we are adding D. D-E-S, Zodi. Here we are adding Tuli, the same thing, Tu, D, replacing L with D. Okay. Next here, Il, D, L, D. Okay. Next is Nu. In place of Lison, we are writing Dison. Nu Dison, replacing L with D only. But when you are writing with vous form, it's written here lise. Here it is written lise. But here we are writing dit. That is why it does not belong to the previous subgroup. That's the reason it does not belong to the previous subgroup. It is another subgroup. Separate subgroup. Okay. So, and then the rest is the same thing only. Il these, in replacing L with D. Il these, L these. Il these, L these. Got it? Do you have any question to ask anyone? Swapnil, do you have any question to ask? Swapnil, Proma, Akshita, Jayesh Gupta. So shall we proceed? Shall we proceed? No one says saying anything. What?
Proma, you check. Proma, the conjugation that you have sent to us, the vous form, Dubalan you have written, it will not be Dubalan, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. Okay. And rest, those who have sent afterwards, you check. Sir has written, so you can check it.
Jayesh Gupta, it will be Dubalan. In the third person plural form, and L, you have not written A-L-L-S. A-S. Okay, so we are going ahead to the next one, the verb, next subgroup. The next subgroup we are having écrire now. Écrire, you can see ending with RA, but it doesn't belong to the previous groups. It's a separate one, okay? So we need to remember, need to practice the verb so that we can remember. The more we practice, the more we remember. The less we practice, the less we remember. Okay, here you see Zekri, how it is written. Zekri. Okay, Zekri. Note this one. The S. Zekri. Zekri. Okay. Zekri. Then it's tu écris. What are we writing? Tu écris. Il écrit. Il écrit. Then elle écrit. Nous écrivons. Nous écrivons. Vous écrivez. Ils écrivent. Elles écrivent. Once again. J'écris. Tu écris. Il écrit. Elle écrit. Nous écrivons. Vous écrivez. Ils écrivent. Elles écrivent. OK? J'écris. Tu écris. Il écrit. Elle écrit. Nous écrivons. Nous écrivons. Vous écrivez. Ils écrivent. Elles écrivent. And similar, we have another verb, d'écrire. If you add écrire, écrire, you are writing. And if you add D beside it, it becomes d'écrire. D'écrire means to describe. So you need to add D before these forms. Is it clear to all of you? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes,
So we
sir.
are going to the next group, subgroup now. So how many groups, subgroups we have learned today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the sixth one, math. So it also ends with RA. It also ends with RA. It also ends with what? RA, isn't it? RA.
Yes.
But here you see the difference. So we are writing, you need to remember by writing. The more you write and practice, it will remember. Zo me, tu me, il me. When we'll be getting this verb, we'll be doing the consonant in this way. Zo me, tu me, il me. So you can observe here, S we have written for these two cases, but S is missing here. Amete. So il me, el me. Next, again, you can see the verb has double te in it. So we are writing double te in the third person, in the in the plural forms. First, second, and third person plural form. We are adding double te. Nous mettons, vous mettez, ils mettent, elles mettent. Zo met, tu mets, il met, elle met. Nous mettons, vous mettez, ils mettent, elles mettent. Similar, the verbs here you can see, you'll be doing the consonant in this way only. Only here we are adding I is there. So it will be, what will be there? If I write this verb, bath, to fight, what shall I write here? Zo. What shall I write? Garf pamnani. Garf pamnani. What shall I write? Jayaneja. Zo may I place or I put. And what will be I am
don't know.
fighting or I fight? Yeah, Jay?
Sir, I don't know.
Why you don't know? Yeah, math verb. You can see the verb math. We are writing with M-A-T-S. So for bath, what will be writing? Akshita Singh. Akshita Singh. What will be writing? Yes, spell it. Spell it. Yes. Yes, very good. Zoba. Zoba. B-A-T-S. Zoba. Next. Tu. Again, B-A-T-S will be writing with you also. And with il, we'll write B-A-T. With L, we also writing B-A-T. And with nu, what will be writing? B-A-T-T-O-N-S. Baton. Vous battez. B-A-T-T-E-Z. And next, il bat. B-A-T-T-A-N-T. And L bat. B-A-T-T-A-N-T. Got it? Did you understand? Okay. Now, I'll be asking Jayesh Gupta. Jayesh Gupta, tell what will be writing for this verb? Pair match. Pair match.
Sir, P
Yes.
E-R-M-E-E-S.
Very good. So you can observe here, like if you add match is written here. Now, if you want to add P-E-R, so it will thus you need to add here. Right? Permit means to allow or to permit. Okay. Now if you okay, now if you want to add promet. Now, if you add PRO, it becomes promet, means to promise. So this is the way we have to do it. Then tu, what will be? Permet. Tu permet. Then il permet. T, no S. Elle permet. P-R-M-A-T. Nous, plural form, the first person plural, permettons. Permettons. T-T-O-N-S. Vous permettez. P-E-R-M-E-T-T-E-Z. Vous permettez. Je permets, tu permets, il permet, elle permet. Nous permettons, vous permettez, and then il permettent. Il permettent. And elle permettent. Elle permettent. Okay. Got it? Tell me, respond.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are going to the next one now. We have done the sixth group, subgroup. Now next subgroup, venir. This one I explained in the class once again. Here we'll be explaining here. Now you can see this verb ends with ir, but does not belong to the second group. Remember that it belongs to the third group. It belongs to the third group. Okay. Venir. Here we see je viens, tu viens, je viens, tu viens. Okay. Je viens, tu viens, il vient. Now you can see, observe it, V-I-E-N-S. I have seen someone writing in the exam veins. It's not veins. Okay. The verbs are the veins to the language always. The verbs are the veins to a language. Remember that. Okay. If you don't know the verbs properly, then you are going to die. Isn't it? If the veins, we cut the veins, then we are going to die, isn't it? Yes or no? So for learning a language, if you don't know the verbs properly, you cannot stay alive. Okay. So don't write veins. Okay. It is vien. Right. It is vien. We write vien. Okay. So, je viens, tu viens, il vient, elle vient. Next, nous venons. Now observe what we write here. Nous venons. Nous venons. We are not writing VE. We are not writing I in between. Nous venons. Vous venez. You need to remember this one. You need to practice. Je viens, tu viens, il vient, elle vient. But when we're coming with nous and vous form, is nous venons, vous venez, and then in the third person plural form, check. Here we are writing double N, remember, not single N. Ils viennent, elles viennent. Ils viennent, elles viennent. So if you add to venir, if I add de, devenir, it becomes, devenir means to become. So devenir means to become, right? You can see. Now, can you do the verb tournir? The verb tournir, which means to hold. Which means to hold. See, only what we have to do, if we replace V with T, then it becomes tournir. The same conjugation will follow. Anugya, tell. Now, you do tell the conjugation. What will be writing with zo?
Sir, T-I-E-N-S.
Yes, zotien. T-E-A-N-S. Zotien. Next, the same thing. Tu tien. Next, il tien. A-N-T. Elle tien. T-E-A-N-T. And the first person plural form with nous. Nous tenons. With tu, it will be vous donnez. Okay. Third person plural forms, you can see il, tien, il, tien, and an, a, and t. Il tien and el tien. Okay. Done. Okay. So if you see the logic, you can see Tony. You just now you have learned Tony by replacing V with T. You came to know the verb Tony. Now, if you add O and B beside Tony, it becomes optonic, to obtain. Is it easy now? So if you know the verb tonir, if you know the verb vonir, you can do with tonir, you can do with dovonir, you can do with optonir. Isn't it? Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So remember this, if you need to do, that is why we have shown only one conjugation. So if we replace V with T, it becomes tonir. So you need to replace this all V in this conjugation with T, then it becomes tonic. And if you write OP beside that, it becomes optonic. If we write OB beside tonic, it becomes optonic. So this is another subgroup we have learned. Now the next subgroup we are going ahead. Vouloir. So it does not belong to any other subgroups. It is only alone in this group. Okay, vouloir. So vouloir is very important, as you will be dealing with this vouloir in your day-to-day life always. I want, I want, I want. You want everything. Okay, but nothing you give. Okay, what you give? What is the verb to give in French? What is the verb to give in French?
Donner.
Huh?
Donner.
D-O-N-N-A-L. Donner. Donner means to give, right? We should not always want. We should start giving also, isn't it? So donner means to give. Which group it is belongs to? Which group?
First group.
First group that we can see from ER endings. We can see it belongs to the first group. Now suppose if in the sentence, if I say Alvo du café, so if we know the form of the verbs, we can easily detect which verb this is. If vo is written, we can straight away we can connect with the verb vouloir. That is why when we ask in the class Alvo du café, and then we ask you all which form of the verb is it? What is the main verb? What is the source? So you all fail to say because you don't practice the verbs at home. It comes from the verb vouloir, straight away we will be saying. But just by seeing the forms, isn't it? If we see vouloir somewhere written, we can easily make out this comes from the verb vouloir. Now, if I give you the verb P-A-U-V-A-N-T, pauv, can you tell me from which verb this is?
Pouvoir.
Pouvoir. Yes, it comes from the verb pouvoir. Now, if I give you A is written, can you tell me which group? What is the verb?
Être.
The verb is add. The source of the verb is add. This is the form of this verb. So next one, can you tell me this verb now? Let me check. Okay. Which verb this is?
Sir, remplir.
Yes, remplir. Which group this is?
Second group.
Second
ending.
group. IR ending verb. The more you practice, the more you can tell the verbs. Okay. So anyway, so next subgroup is vouloir. Vouloir. You can observe vouloir, to want. It is je veux, tu veux, il veut, elle veut. So here we are writing X, and here replacing X with T. Next is nous voulons. Now we are coming to the verb. You can see L is there. So in the third person plural forms, sorry, in the plural forms, we can see L. We can see the L later, which denotes the verb. Okay. So here we see nous voulons, ONS. Vous voulez, AZ. Il vole, ANT. Elle vole, ANT. Je vaux, tu vaux, il vaut, elle vaut, nous voulons, vous voulez, il vole, elle vole. Now, if I write here the verb pouvoir, which means can, I can, I want, I can. So what will be I can in French here? Now you can see je peux. I am just replacing V with P. Je peux. Je vaux, je peux. Next is tu peux. The meeting is going to end. Again, you'll be joining. Okay. Il peut. Now, L, what will be next one? Jayaneja. L, po. You can see we are replacing V with P, isn't it? Gart Pamnani. Next one. Nu. Here we are writing voulons. You can see V-O-U-L is there in this verb. And here P-O-U-V is there in the verb. So we'll write nous pouvons. Nous pouvons. And then we are writing vous pouvez. Isn't it? Pouvez. Here we are not writing L.
Yes, sir.
Because V
Yes,
is
sir.
there in the verb. L is not there in the verb. Here in vouloir, L is there. And here in
Okay.
pouvoir, V is there. That is why writing V here.
Okay,
Here
sir.
we're writing L.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And next
Okay,
is
sir.
il. What are we writing here?
Sir.
A,
Sub. A.
U, and then L, replacing L with V, A, and T. Il
Yes, sir.
pov. Il pov, elle pov.
Okay, sir.
Okay. If I say I can do this work,
Okay, sir.
je peux faire ce travail. I can do. What to do in French, we know.